Okay, we're here with Derek Shelton.
I mean, obviously we had the 2 3-run homers, but our bullpen did a really good job keeping us in the game. That was really important.
Shelty, as a manager, if somebody gives you a choice between 6 walks in an inning or 2 homers, what are you taking?
I'll take both of them. Can I get greedy? I mean, the 6 walks, it gives you so many opportunities to score. I like when they're mixed in between homers, though. I will take that.
So to Michael Perez, obviously, there's room for improvement on the offensive side. He's hitting, 150 or whatever it is, but he's tied for like third on the team in home runs and not so many at bats. Like, what does he do well to play to sort of generate, extra base power, even if you'd like him to make more contact in general,
Yeah, I think he takes aggressive swings, and that's the thing. And we knew when we got him that he had the ability to drive the ball. That was kind of the reports we got from some of the guys in Tampa, and he's taken advantage of it. I mean, today he took advantage of kind of having a pretty good idea where the pitch was going to be, and got the head out and put us ahead.
How much of his past 3 weeks he's been hitting much better than in those first 16 games, and his K rate has gone down? How much has it been about pitch recognition as well, that he's just not swinging at pitches outside the zones as much as he did in the beginning?
Yeah, I think he's in a better position to hit, and we talk about timing a lot. I think his timing is closer to where we need it to be on a consistent basis. And then the other thing is we've sprinkled him in more. We've tried to get him more consistent at bats, because when you're the backup catcher, especially early in the year with a lot of off days, you don't get at bats. So we've tried to get him more opportunities so he has the ability to get his timing.
Schulte, I want to circle back to the contact points with Bryan Reynolds that we talked about earlier in the game, because the homer obviously is the big hit of the day, but that first inning swing where he, stayed on the pitch, got that base hit to center, is that just an indication of, it's not just, selling out for power, pulling the ball, it's using all parts of the field, just making good contact?
Yeah, and I think, going back to the contact point, if you go back to the at bat before he hit the homer and he hit the fly ball to center field, his contact point just got deep just a tad. I mean, he took a really good swing at that, and just the perennial just missed that, but the contact point was a little bit farther back, and the next one he got a little bit farther out front, and it ends up probably going in the river.
So you guys hadn't had that many hits up until that point. How much do you feel like when you start to get those walks and get guys on base that you're looking for mistakes out there, and guys like Reynolds and Perez are capable of making them pay for those mistakes?
Yeah, I think, the fact that Quantrill did a really good job early in the game and kept us off balance. I think he had 2 innings where he really minimalized pitches, and we kind of got over aggressive. And then the fact that we were able to get back into counts, and then we had some people on base, so we were able to, create those opportunities where we could sit in selective zones.
So what's your big takeaway from Will Crow's start today? Obviously the 2 homers, that's been sort of a problem for him, though, giving up home runs. Like, how do you take away, from the start?
I take away he gave us a chance to win the game. And I think that's an important thing for our starters, regardless if you look at, how many pitches they throw or how many innings they throw. He gave us a chance to win the game. He hung 2 sliders that got hit out of the ballpark, but he continued to execute pitches. I thought the fastball and changeup were better. The slider, the slider stayed up a little bit today, but the biggest takeaway I take is he gave us a chance to win.
How different is it prepping for a guy like Cal Quantrill? And, he's had starting experience. Like 3 years ago, he was starting regularly, but recently he's been like a 1 or 2 inning guy. How do you kind of prep for a guy who you haven't seen him go second or third time through many times in the past few years?
Yeah, it usually comes to breaking ball usage. You have to look back at how the breaking ball's been used, in the previous starts.
So do you guys, load up on left-handers and aim for the Clemente wall and try to hit homers out that way? It seems like the Indians, even though they have some balance in their lineup, when those right-handers seem to like your left field, how much, based on last year and this year, have you noticed that those guys are, that's kind of an inviting fence for them?
Yeah, I mean, they've hit some balls over it. I think it's, more the fact that, they've taken really good swings at poor pitches.
Shelty, what's it sort of say about your pitching staff? I feel like Bull Crow is kind of a microcosm of it. Like the bullpen doesn't have a great night, but they come back tonight and throw really well. Richard Rodriguez gives up a home run, comes right back. Like it seems like you guys, even tonight and this season have just done a really good job bouncing back from something. You know what I mean? Specifically with pitching, something negative that happens.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the fact that we had guys continue to grind out. I mean, we had probably 4 or 5 days where our bullpen had been our biggest strength, and they scuffled a little bit. They did bounce back. The one thing we did not mention today was Stratton. I mean, that was huge. What he did for us today, and the ability to to give us two, to be very efficient. But I give credit to Mess and our bullpen guys because they're resilient. Regardless of what happens the day before, they bounce back and go.
Okay, all good for Derek. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Any questions for Michael Perez?
Michael, you've been able to more consistently contact the ball with power, but also you've cut down your strikeout rate over the past 10 games that you've been able to have. Do you feel like you're seeing the pitch better? Is that kind of what leading to the more consistent results, or is it something different?
Aunque te has demostrado que puedes darle la bola muy bien, muy fuerte, también has eliminado las oportunidades de poncharte. ¿Qué es lo que estás haciendo diferente? ¿Es que estás viendo el picheo mejor o qué es lo que estás haciendo diferente en la caja?
Bueno, últimamente me estoy sintiendo bien. Lo que estoy tratando de hacer, como siempre he dicho, tratar de coger buenos turnos, y lo que me ha ayudado es dejar ver la bola arriba. Eso creo que es lo que me ha ayudado, y quedarme con mi approach, que es para el medio, y si hacen un mistake, pues aprovecharlo.
Lately I've been feeling really good. I've been actually feeling great. And like I've mentioned in previous interviews, my mindset and my mentality is to just make sure I'm getting good at bats, that I'm going into the box, sticking to the plan, trying to stay in the middle, and making sure that I'm seeing on top of the ball. And hopefully, they make a mistake, and if they don't, I'm sticking to my plan, and the results are showing that I'm executing the plan.
When you're coming up in the 7th and you've seen the 2 guys ahead of you both walk, does that change all your mindset? Are you more looking for a mistake at that point or anything like that?
Cuando tú estás subiendo en la 7ª hacia la caja y ves que caminaron los primeros 2 bateadores, ¿eso hace algo a tu mentalidad o a tu plan?
No realmente, seguir siendo el mismo, y en ese inning pues Shaw cometió pues quizá un mistake, no la quiso tirar ahí, y pues aproveché ese mistake, y eso es lo que se trata.
Not really in that situation. Even though he walked 2 hitters right before me, it doesn't really change the mindset or the approach or the plan going up to the box. I really believe that Shaw made a mistake. I'm pretty sure he didn't want to pitch the ball in that area of the zone, and he made a mistake, and I was able to capture it.
Michael, what do you see out of Richard Rodriguez where, he makes a mistake pitch, but then he just bounces back and immediately shuts the door? There's no, part that's lingers there before.
Bueno, creo que Richie ha estado todo el año espectacular, ya todo el mundo lo sabe. No sé, quizá eso también yo lo vi, que entró como que, no sé, raro, y después que le dieron un jonrón, pues ahí conocimos a Richie que todos conocemos. Nada, eso es parte de, y Richard ha sido excelente para nosotros.
The entire year, I'm sure you guys have witnessed just as much as I have that Richie's been nothing but spectacular. He's been amazing, and overall, he's just a great athlete, a great teammate. I did, similar to you guys, I noticed that he, when he got on the mound, he was just his regular self. But then when that home run got hit off of him, just something switched, and it's like he locked back into his plan and, to his mindset of, yeah, I'm going to attack. So, it's things that happen in the game, but we all know Richie. We all know that no matter what, challenge or anything that he goes through, he's always going to bounce back and fight to the end.
Michael, it seems like the Pirates are playing you more intentionally, more frequently. How much has that helped you that you've been up in the lineup more regularly and that you've been given more chances to both catch and hit?
Hemos visto que los Piratas te están jugando más frecuentemente y más con intenciones sobre el lineup del otro equipo. ¿Qué mucho esto te está ayudando a ti en tus turnos, en tu defensa, en tu ofensa, en todo?
Pues, ah, nada, estar positivo siempre, seguir haciendo mi trabajo en el cage, en mi rutina, todas esas cosas. Creo que eso es lo que me ha ayudado y aprovechar la oportunidad que ellos me den. Pues obviamente me gustaría más, pero ya eso no depende de mí. Yo lo que puedo controlar es las cosas que puedo hacer en el parque.
You know, more playing time is always beneficial. However, you know, whether I get more playing time or not, you know, my mindset is always to just, you know, remain positive, continue working hard, continue with my preparation, my reps, and you know, that when it comes to the playing time, that's their decision, and I respect whatever decision they make. However, you know, my mindset's always I'm going to keep working hard. I'm going to continue taking advantage of every opportunity I get, and making sure that I demonstrate that I'm dependable for the team.
All good for Michael? Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mike. All right, gentlemen, we'll keep rolling with Will Crow. Questions for Will?
Well, those two solo homers came off of some hanging sliders, and it looked like you used the slider a little bit less today. You just feel like you didn't have as much command of it overall today, and you had to turn to your fastball more?
Yeah, it was one of those days where it wasn't my best pitch. And after the second home run, even before the first one, the pitch before the first home run, I threw a slider away in the dirt, and Ramirez kind of like shook his head like, yeah, that's what I thought was coming. It kind of seemed, and then I threw a bad one the next pitch, so it didn't matter. But later in the game, even to Rivera on the next one, I thought it wasn't as bad as the first one. It had a little more bite, but he put a really good pass at it. So our game plan then, I went in the dugout after that inning. I said, hey, let's not throw the slider as much anymore. Let's go to the other pitches and rely on them. And just seemed like they were trying to hit the slider. And on top of that, I didn't have my best one. So we went with everything else and grinded through the outing.
Well, how important was it for you after the home runs? You bounced back really quickly, seemed to recalibrate. I mean, the bullpen did similar stuff. Like, you know, can you just maybe give us a sense of how tough that is and just what your mentality is getting back into it?
Yeah, you obviously never want to give a home run, but when you do, you know, it's big for not only yourself and your morale, but the team morale to, you know, go right after that next guy and not mess around. So when things like that happen, don't let them compound, and don't let things, you know, go from just being 1 to a 2 spot. You know, leave it at that, and you know, just give the guys an opportunity to keep going and stay in the game. And you know, like today, 2 spot didn't hurt us. You know, we came back, won the game, and that's what it's about, is keeping it as minimal as you can.
Well, it looked like from up here on your sacrifice bunt that you were channeling a little Javier Baez. Was that what was going through your head?
Yeah, if that's what it looked like. You know, you don't give the guy an out, you know, especially with the third baseman crashing and guy going to second. If they're lackadaisical, you know, he tries to come and tag me, and I don't let him do that. You know, Mikey might be able to get third if they're not paying attention. So in that situation, make him throw the ball to first. You know, you never know if he throws it down the right field line, and whatever happens could happen. So you make him make the play, and they might mess up, and you get extra out of it.
Well, with the home runs, you know, I know, like you said, it's a couple bad pitches, so you can't, you know, in a pretty solid outing, so you can't like hate it too much. But home runs have hurt you a couple times this season. Like, what is the key to sort of limiting that? Like, is it a matter of recognizing that the slider is there earlier, or like I don't know. How would you kind of approach that?
I mean, I made 2 bad pitches, and they hit them out. So what? You know, solo home runs don't hurt you. So, like I said, you keep them at 1, you keep it there, you know, and you let the guys have a chance. And that was all I was doing. You know, you give up 1, you leave it at that. You leave solo home runs leave it at that, and you give the guys an opportunity to fight back and score runs like we did and win a ball game.
Well, what's it like to work with Michael Perez, and what did it mean for you to see him get a home run and kind of change the tide of the game?
Yeah, that was awesome. You know, Mikey hit a pitch out. That was awesome. You know, it's me and Mikey work good together. He knows exactly what I'm thinking. I know what I want to do, what he wants to do, and we just go at it. And him and Stallings do a great job back there. And to see him, you know, hit that pitch out was awesome. You know, he works as hard as anybody in the clubhouse. So see him hit that ball out was awesome.
All right, good for Will. Thank you, Will. Bryan Reynolds standing by. Thanks, Will. Keep the questions rolling for Bryan Reynolds.
Brian, I'm remembering that conversation you and Jake had at the batting cages that you felt like every hit you were having was a home run. Is that a problem anymore in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I want to mix in other ones too, but yeah, that felt good today for sure.
Brian, Shelby was talking about your contact points being improved, especially in the month of June. Is there anything that's a noticeable difference to you that you're doing better or differently?
No, not specifically. Tried to get my barrel in a spot that it was ready to fire from instead of wrapping it so much. And I feel like that's helped me to just deliver it more consistently. But in terms of a big giant change, nothing really there. Just that.
What's it been like to have the month of June that you're having? You have 5 homers, 13 RBIs, hitting well over 300.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good up there. I feel like my timing is good and all that good stuff. So just try and keep it rolling and keep putting the barrel on the ball more than anything.
Brian, does your approach change when you're coming up in an inning where the Cleveland pitchers are obviously having some control issues, walking a lot of guys? Like, does that change your approach at all, or anything in your mind like that?
Yeah, when the pitcher struggling to find the zone, you really want to zone up, what you're looking for, and keyhole a little bit, make sure that it's in there and you're not chasing and helping them out. So that's the biggest thing.
Anything else for Brian?
Yeah, Brian, I don't know if you saw, but the ball got in the river and a guy jumped in and got it, took off his shirt, jumped in. I just thought I'd ask you, if you saw a ball in the river right there, if you were walking out there, are you jumping in to get it?
I just saw the picture of the guy doing the cannonball in to get it. So, yeah, I'm jumping in for sure.
We'll end with that. Thanks, guys. That's all for today, fellas. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Yep.